What is going on, everybody? Welcome to the InnerCityGeeks podcast. This is episode 252. It's Steve here. And joining me today, I got Renee.
Hey, what's up, man?
Chilling, man. How you doing?
Pretty good.
Nice.
Yeah.
How's your week been?
It's been cool. Pretty good. I started going back to the gym again. I got
Nice.
I guess you inspired me to go back to the gym. I mean, it was a combination of you and my mom, and fucking seeing how much I fucking weigh now, which is like depressing on top of everything else that's been going on lately. Like, not only am I stressed out now, but I'm like, fuck, I'm fat. But no, like I've been going to the gym like every day this week, and I've actually worked out every day this week. Like I'm gonna work out and do my push-ups and stuff, my crunches later, just because like the gym out here closes really early on Friday, and actually
Right, yeah.
So like I won't be able to go today, and I'm probably gonna be driving Uber most of the weekend. So it's Memorial Day weekend, which I keep forgetting.
Yeah, it is Memorial Day weekend.
Can I have the mic for a couple of seconds? I know we just started, but can I have a couple of rants that are in me? I remember this week that I'm just like, what the fuck? But actually, you sure? Let me go.
Yeah, go for it, dude.
All right. So a couple of things have been on my mind this week, and I kind of want to get them out of the way before we get into the meat and potatoes of the episode. We're going to be talking about a really good movie at the end after this, and MODOK. We're going to be talking about Rafa Man and MODOK at the end, which both are really, really good, and we're going to tell you all about why.
We'll get into it.
Yeah. But the first thing I want to talk about really quick is that, like, because I was at the gym, I was kind of forced to listen to pop music and really shitty rap, and I'm sure that's why we all wear headphones, right?
Yep.
But I use my phone as a counter when I'm doing like my crunches and my push-ups at the end, because I do them fast at the end. And I had to take my headphones off. And I'm working out and I hear a song, like a pop song, and I'm like, wow, that sounds like Michael Jackson. And like the song kept going, and I was like, is this who I think it is? And I run up to the fucking TV thing because I didn't have my glasses on. So I ran up to one of the TVs to look. And son of a bitch, I was right. Without even fucking hearing, without even knowing what I was listening to, okay? I knew it was the weekend. I was like, you gotta be fucking kidding me. All right? This dude literally made a career out of being a Michael Jackson impersonator.
Yep.
I know a lot of people are cool with that. I'm not. That's like having a career on top of greatness. That's like me writing up, like making a band that sounds like Danzig and the Misfits, or Pro Jam with my deep voice, and then I win a Grammy. What the fuck? Like,
yeah,
the amount of bullshit between in entertainment now is really high. Like, it is ridiculously fucking high. Like the meme with the old guy that ran for New York for mayor, like with the big white bushy thing. It's too damn high. Like, I was just like, what the fuck? I mean, I know people like that kind of thing, but it's like we grew up with the real thing, so it's like, yo, if I was Michael Jackson's fucking estate, I'd sue the fuck out of him. It was hilarious because I actually said it out loud. Like, I was like, oh shit, I can't believe it's him. And this girl was working out and she started laughing, and I was like, yeah, I'm sorry. I'm old. I've never heard this shit before, and I knew who it was, and I'm like, this is ridiculous. I was like, this guy, literally, I was like, oh my god, it blew my fucking eardrums in my mind. I was like, what the fuck? And then like you saw him on the Super Bowl too, and I was like,
yeah,
no fucking way, man. That's fucked up. I was like, and it's a really good like take on modern pop music too. Like everything that's coming out now, it goes back to what I said a long time ago about Coheed and Cambria, and that's a whole other rant. But like, there's a lot of people that grew up with the shit that we grew up with, sort of. Not during the same time. Like, they heard it from the parents, or they heard it from the grandparents, or whatever the fuck.
Right.
Babysitter, who cares? And like, they shit out the worst fucking products. I don't understand that. Like, there's bands that came out when we grew up, and like the music's good, like really, really good. Like, there was no auto-tune, the digital shit wasn't there, SoundCloud didn't exist. Kickstarter and Indiegogo weren't around, so you had to actually have fucking talent to make a record. Right. And it's like, what the fuck is going on? And it's not just music. Like, it goes to like the entire spectrum of pop culture now. And it's something that I have a huge problem with, but it was like so stark to me to be like, I was like, I cannot believe I figured out who this is without knowing who it is. It was fucking weird. It just really got to me. And I'm like, yeah, like I cannot believe this shit, man. I mean, you got Machine Gun Kelly, you got a bunch of other fucking assholes with tattoos on their faces, including the dickhead we're gonna talk about later. And it's like it's like standing on the shadows of greatness. And I'm like, yo, like,
yeah.
I don't know what the fuck's gonna happen in the next 20 years with pop culture, but I know like I kind of feel like we're stuck in like a modern version of what happened in the 50s, where like the country was kind of like dealing with right wing and left wing and fascism in ways that people now don't really understand. And then because of that, this long stretch after World War II, we ended up getting the counterculture in the 60s. And then on top of that, we got the sex culture in the 70s. So I'm really curious to see what's going to happen in the next 20 years of entertainment. All right.
Because we're smacked out in the middle of it right now.
Yeah. And it's like, and especially the way we live, like immersed in this stuff too. It's like, it's just like, oh my God. Like, I think the last poppy shit that I liked was like maybe 10 years ago when I was in Vegas a lot. And like I would hear Gaga and Rihanna and shit like that. And even they suck now. So it's like, you know, it's just so fucking weird, man. And these are artists. Some of these artists are really talented.
Yes.
I just don't think The Weeknd is. All right. That's just a personal thing. If you listen to this and you disagree with me, that's cool. I think you're wrong, but you have the right to that opinion. You have the right to be wrong. The other thing that really, really fucking pissed me off was is the toxicity in fandoms now. Like it's getting really out of hand. I thought it would kind of like go back a little after the last, Rise of the Sith. I just kind of figured everybody got it out of the system with right, what was it, Revenge of the Sith, right?
Yeah.
What the fuck was that shitty movie?
No, it was Rise of Skywalker.
Rise of Skywalker, duh, I can't even get it right anymore. So yeah, I thought, 2 years ago with Rise of Skywalker that like almost 2 years ago, that people would get it out of the fucking system. But no. I saw personal attacks on Zack Snyder, like personally, like jokes about like his daughter. And there's a couple of tweets that I have like, that I like just because they're so fucked up so I can remember. And I remember specifically one of the tweets was like, Army of Darkness was so bad that his daughter came back and then killed herself again. That is just completely unfucking called for.
That
is right? And he had people piling on. And I was just looking at that shit like appalled. And I was like, oh my God, like, I don't get into that shit anymore because I'll get banned. I'm tired of getting banned on social media. Because the other thing is that a lot of these people just don't know how to fucking take it, and they just fucking report you immediately. And it's happened to me a few times when I've like put them in their place. Yeah, and it's like, and then on MODOK too, which we're gonna talk about later. People were like really going off on it, and I'm just like, what the fuck is wrong with y'all? Like, it's something I've been saying to myself a lot lately. I don't know if it's because summer's starting and people are so tired of wearing the mask and shit, or just tired of being in this like perpetual COVID existence. But like,
they're tired of being in the bubble.
Yeah, but I which I understand, but at the same time, man, like we should be like acting a lot better than we are acting right now.
You would think so. You would think so, for real.
Yeah, I think like in pop culture and in real life too. Like I think people need to figure certain things out, and there's no boundaries anymore. Like, which is something that like this generation coming up now really doesn't understand. And I've seen it in kids. In kids like of the ages of your kids, I've seen it a lot, like just kind of observing shit. And it's like, your kids are cool. I'm not dissing your kids. Your kids are awesome. But other kids are not as awesome as them. Right. And they have phones, they have internet, they have iPads that their school or their parents gave them. And they just do shit and they don't have any boundaries. And no one fucking calls them out on it or punishes them anymore. Mm-hmm. And it's like, there's no limit to how fucking low people can sink now. And I've grown into being someone who is really open-minded about stuff. I know I said, yo, if you like them, you're wrong, blah, blah, blah. That's just me being stupid. Like, you have the right to your opinion, all right? And whatever it is, I don't really care because it doesn't have anything to do with me. Unless it like personally does affect me, I honestly don't give a fuck. But when I see people just being like that fucking stupid, I'm just like, dude, like no one deserves to be personally attacked over a fucking movie about bullshit. A lot of people hate
for a movie that's just fictional characters. People don't fucking get it. Like it's a fucking movie. It's fake. It's not real.
Agreed. And it's like I've had to like eat my words with some of the things for Zack Snyder this year, but because Army of the Dead was a lot better than I thought it was going to be. And I gave the Snyder Cut a chance, and I was like, wow, like I had to eat my words. This was good. Which I have to give it to him because I didn't think you could fix a fucking piece of shit like the Whedon cut. But yeah, man, like I was just like, yo, what the fuck is wrong with these people? Like it's no one, not even the president, no one. I don't give a fuck who you are. No one has the right to fucking like just like personally attack someone else just because you don't like something associated with them or something that they did. Like that's just leave it alone. Like I understand that not everything is made for me. And I don't mean that as a cop out and quality when it comes to certain things. But I just mean certain things just aren't for me. Like that's just how it is. Doesn't mean I gotta fucking, do a 30-minute YouTube rant about it. Doesn't mean that I gotta go on fucking TikTok and do some stupid shit there. Just leave it the fuck alone and ignore it. That's it. And I'm telling you, when I like 10 years ago, I was very different about that kind of thing. Like now I'm really like, I'm just aware of the way things work for real and when it comes to pop culture and stuff. And I'm like, yo, y'all gotta chill the fuck out, and you can't tell them anything. Like you can't. I know I said current generation before, but it's not just kids; it's people like our age and older. And I'm like, what the fuck is wrong? Like,
because you know what it is that people now see that they have that their words are actually put out there, and people actually pay attention to other people's words, and they feel that it's okay to do that shit.
And the thing is, not everybody's words are worth listening to. Like. Straight up, like there's a lot of people who are very seriously wrong. There's some people who just don't understand what the fuck they're talking about. And some people might think that about us, but it's just like, yo, like this shit is getting really fucking out of hand. Like the stuff I saw, like the Army of Darkness thing, like really surprised me because I was like, you would think they would have gotten it out of the system with Snyder Cut, but no, they just fucking kept going, and I was just like, well, bro, like. That shit, and I still stand by what we said last week. I mean, I know a lot of people are hating on that fucking movie, but I think it was a lot of fun.
It was.
Bautista's acting aside, like I think it was really, really good. So, and I still stand by it. Like I'll put that movie on in the background. I'm doing my workout just to have something on in the background, and I'll do that with some other stuff too. And again, I had to like I'm telling y'all, like I didn't think any of this shit was gonna be good. I was like, oh fuck him, like before, but then I saw him and I gave it a chance. And as belligerent as I might sound, I'm not an asshole. So it's like, even if I didn't like it, I wouldn't fucking talk shit about his family. That's fucked up.
Right, exactly. That's the thing. Like you don't go after people's family when you're just talking about the one thing that they worked on, that they put a lot of effort into. Because it's not like if it was just like, oh yeah, I'm just gonna put out this bullshit of a movie or whatever. Or even at that point, like it's something that he actually really wanted to work on.
Yeah,
that was like kind of like, I guess you can say, kind of like his pride and joy in a way. Like it's something that he really wanted to put out, and got the rights to actually do it. And people are like, yo, like, why would you do this? And it's just weird how a lot of society just want to shit on everything that's put out there when they don't understand that it's kind of like their pride and joy, kind of like us here. Like this is like people can shit on us. I'm like, okay, cool, whatever, but don't fucking go personally on shit. Like, oh yeah, like your kids fucking suck type shit,
Yeah, and I'm like, I'll get raw. Like the other thing that happened this week too that was really interesting. I kind of mentioned it to you really quick the other day, but I play a lot of Call of Duty, and I play a lot of Call of Duty online, and I always mute like everybody else, right?
Yeah,
because I just don't want to hear that shit. I don't need to. I'm the kind of person that if I get mad enough, I will hunt you down and find you and beat the ever living shit out of you, right? So I mute it so that I don't say anything. And it's weird because like the controller is a mic, and a lot of people don't understand that. Like they forget, and like the mic, the controllers have a microphone in them that's really good, so you can hear everything. So I mute it, right? And I was playing with a crew from the Bronx, and like, yo, like they were like serious shit talkers, and like the stuff I heard was just like, oh my god, like me as an old 45-year-old man, I was like, I'm not easily offended, but some of the shit I heard, I was like, what the hell's going on with y'all? Like white people throwing the N-word with the hard R at us. I was just like, it was hilarious. It was fucked up, but it was funny because like we pissed somebody off so bad because we kept winning, and he pissed somebody off so bad. They said that they threw the N-word at us, and we are like, ooh, like that's not too good. I was like, what the fuck? I even told these guys, I was like, yo, how the fuck do you not get banned for some of the shit y'all say? But yeah, whatever. I really, really think people like we as a society are kind of fucked right now, and I hope we can work our way out of it. Like I said, I think especially like the last couple of months, like looking at what's going on, it really reminds me of the 50s, and I really hope we can get out of that really quick because that's not good at all for the country or the planet. So
yeah, but yeah, that's not good at all.
Those are my rants for the week, and that was pretty much it. Like I watched we're gonna talk about the other two, but I saw a really good documentary on Hulu that I keep meaning to recommend to you, and I just keep forgetting. It's called Too Funny to Die.
Okay.
I know it was on the main page a couple of times, but it's a documentary about the Dana Carvey show, which came out in 1996.
Oh yeah, I remember that show.
And what I was always working at that point. Like my dad had just died, and I was working, so like I was never home. Like during the week, I was never home before 10. So I never saw this stuff, and I just never thought to record it. I was just like busy working. I wasn't into anything else. And the show was like Saturday Night Live variety type show, counterculture, fuck you kind of humor at like after Home Improvement on 9:30, and it was really bad. Like not bad. It was actually a really funny show. Like I tracked some stuff down on YouTube. It's actually pretty good. It had Steve Carell was in it. I'm blanking on his name. What's the other dude? The tall dude that has a late night show?
Which one?
He's a nerd. He's a nerd too. I forgot his name.
Who? Jimmy Fallon?
No. The good one, not him.
The good one. Conan?
Colbert.
Oh, Colbert. Yeah.
Right? That's his name?
Yeah.
Yeah, Colbert. He was on it too. He was one of the writers too. So was Steve Carell, Dana Carvey. They had a bunch of people that worked on Saturday Night Live come with them on the show. And right as the show was being ready for to go on the air, Disney bought ABC. And Disney thought they were gonna get like a really cutesy kind of show. And what they got was really different. And it was a spectacular failure. It was a really like successful failure because the show was actually really good and funny, but it was really, really like pushing the line. And it was a really good documentary hearing these people talk about it. Definitely highly recommended. It's one of the better documentaries on Hulu. I've seen a bunch of them, and this one was actually really good. I like I said, I totally forgot about that show until they I saw it and I was like, all right, cool. Really good documentary. A lot of good stuff from very funny people. And just looking at it's like a little time capsule for 1996 too, because they kind of like talk about what was going on back then, and the climate and stuff and all the other shit. It was really good.
Nice.
Yeah, too funny to fail on Hulu.
Okay,
definitely.
I will check that out. I'll definitely check that out.
And other than that, yeah, I'm good. Stressed out. Issues have been ongoing, so I got to take care of some business, which is not going to be fun. Yeah, I'm like stressed out and really dealing with a lot, but I've been through worse, so we'll see what happens. If I could have survived a lot of the shit that I went through, then I'll be okay. But it's going to be hard for a couple of months.
Yeah, it's gonna be all right.
Yeah, dude.
It's like that song from the back of the day. Everything's gonna be all right.
Yeah. Yeah. How are you doing?
Awesome.
Man?
Awesome. I'm doing all right. I actually watched a documentary also, like you did. Actually, I watched the Tyson documentary. I guess it's kind of like a documentary. I don't know if you could call it a documentary or like a docu-series or something that ABC put out. I think it's just the first episode because they it's only up to like from the beginnings until just before he went to jail. And it's the Mike Tyson The Knockout on like it's on Hulu now, but it's a really really good detailed into it's a really good look into Mike Tyson's life. And the thing is like it compiles a bunch of different things, whether it's interviews or even just like ABC's interviews with him when he was younger as well, because there was a lot of interviews that he did with Barbara Walters, and they actually go into, you know, when he beat up fucking his wife and stuff, and they go into a lot of details and a lot of cool shit from shit that I didn't know about fucking Mike Tyson, and it was really cool. It was it's a really good documentary.
How long are the episodes?
At the moment, the one that I watched was like 1:25.
Oh damn! It's only part one.
Yeah, and that's only part one, exactly.
All right. On HBO, when you get a chance, on HBO Max or maybe whatever, just do a search and for Mike Tyson, and I think it should still be up there. Like he had a one-man stage play for a couple of years back in maybe fucking what, like 8 years ago. It's really good. No bullshit. It was more than that because I was still friends with some idiots in the Bronx, so it's got to be more than 10 years ago. But it's him talking about his life for 2 hours, right? And he's really honest in that. And I feel for Mike because he was made out to be a villain, and a lot of the shit that happened to him, and you know, he went to jail, and people still fucking hate him. Like I met some stupid chick a couple years ago, and I swear to God, she still wanted to kill him. And I'm like, yo, like let that shit go. He went to jail. Like, you know, let him live his life. Time. Yeah. And if you look into what happened in that case, it's not as black and white as you know, the media made at the time. Like that chick kind of fucked up too. So like, he says it. I hope I don't piss anybody off too much, but one of the things that he says in that thing, like, yeah, you know, I might have been a little weird with women before, but I didn't rape her. And I was like, okay, Mike, we got it. But yeah, like, I feel for him.
That's funny. It's funny because that's actually one of the things I actually spoke about in the thing too. Is like, yeah, I may have been a little bit rough, I may have been a little bit touchy, but I didn't do anything else.
Yeah. And it's like it's just a whole around like messed up thing. And a lot of shit happens in life that's not black and white. They exploited the fuck out of him.
Oh yeah,
like
for sure.
The only one that didn't exploit him was his coach, but everyone else exploited him, and it was really sad.
Well, that's one thing that they actually did talk about on the thing, is that he actually did kind of exploit him because he did make a lot of money off of him.
Yeah, man, like he was huge. He was the best boxer in the world. I think he still is. Yeah. You know, if you know me personally, you know I used to do a little boxing back in the day, and I'm a huge boxing fan since I was a kid, and I follow Mike's career. We were growing up when he was doing those fights. I saw his fights live on HBO. Yeah. He was one of the other things that we grew up with in the background in the 90s, and I'll check it out, dude. I'll definitely check it out. In your recommendation.
It's definitely worth checking out. It's a really, really good watch. I was like, okay, I knew some of the story, but I didn't know all of it. And then going into it and actually watching, I was like, okay, I like it. I like where it all went, and it was really good. It's really good. It's a very good watch. Very detailed, very nice. Another thing that I watched on Hulu, I actually watched the second season of Atlanta. The first season was amazing, the first one, and then the second season is even better. Like I fucking loved it. Like this is a show that I stopped watching a while ago, and then I was like, okay, fuck it, I'll give it a shot, and I'll watch it again. No, I didn't watch it. I didn't stop watching it because like I was upset at it, and I was like, fuck this show. It was like more like okay, there's a whole bunch of other shit to watch. And then being that, you know, it's just about summertime, things are pretty much dying down. There's not a lot of TV and stuff going on at the moment. I figured I'd give it a shot, and I did, and I loved the entire fucking second season. It was even better than the first one.
It's only 2 seasons?
At the moment, yeah, there's only 2 seasons. I don't know if they're gonna do a third season. I know at the end of the second season they looked like they were going on tour like overseas and stuff. But it's a really good look at, you know, the music industry in a way.
Like I really like that first season. That's why I was like, fuck Dave. That's why I couldn't watch Dave, because I'm like, Atlanta's a lot better. Yeah. I really like the first season. The first season is fucking hilarious.
It's fucking great. The second season is just as funny as the first one, and it has what I love about the series that is a whole lot of heart to it. There's a whole lot of heart, and it's like you get to see the real struggle. Like in Dave, you don't really see a struggle there. Like he's literally like he basically gets handed shit to him in Dave. And in the other one, not so much. It's like the complete opposite, and that's what I love about it. It's the fact that it's like it's like the hood struggle, because he's literally in the hood the entire time, and he's trying to make shit right to make some money, and then shit always goes awry. Like at the end of the first season, he winds up in fucking jail and shit.
Yeah.
The second season deals with him actually being out of jail and fucking going through the parole system and all that shit, and it's fucking good. It's really good. People start to know who he is and shit on the streets and stuff, and he gets fucking beat up all the time. A couple times in the show, he's like, "Yo, like, what the fuck?" It's a really good watch. So definitely check out season 2 of Atlanta, or just watch Atlanta in general if you haven't watched it. It's a really, really fun show. Go check it out. And Childish Gambino is fucking great. He's awesome. And then another thing that I watched, actually something that I was looking on Twitter, and then one of the wrestlers that I follow, of course, fucking love wrestling, but he put out a recommendation for a horror movie that's on Shudder, because he was like, "Yo, like I want to see something that's fucking good." And one of the dudes put up that he said, watch Open 24 Hours, and that is a really good slasher type film in a way. It's good. So the gist of it is basically like this one girl, she gets out of jail because she tried to burn her ex-boyfriend alive, because he was a serial killer. And she failed, of course, so she wound up going to jail, but he wound up living. And she gets PTSD from it because she saw him like bashing a woman's head in the bathtub with a hammer.
Yo.
And it's fucking sick, dude.
Okay.
And it just gets crazy. It's a crazy fucking story, because she starts to see shit. She starts to hallucinate things. And the story just gets crazier and crazier, because she's just trying to find a job, and she finds a job at like a fucking a grocery store, like a 24-hour, like a gas station.
Yeah.
And shit just goes awry on her first day. It's really good. It's really crazy. Definitely recommend it for you guys to go check that out.
Shudder is just awesome. Like, I love it. I just keep forgetting that I fucking have it. But they have like a really wide spectrum of horror, even the shitty horror.
Yeah. The thing with this is that like it looks very low budget, because of course it's shitty. It's nobody that I think there's probably like one actor in it that we've probably seen before, but like besides that, like there's no real big names or anything in this.
Okay.
And it's good. It's a really good horror movie. To me, I fucking enjoyed the shit out of it.
All right, I'll add it to the list.
Yeah, it's definitely a good watch. And besides that, I think that's pretty much it for the week and stuff. And then I'll definitely have more shit next week for the week. Yeah, it's gonna be a fun week.
It's summer, dude. Like as soon as summer hits, like it kind of like everything starts happening. So
yeah, especially now that things are opening up. There's gonna be a lot of shit going on. So now to get into the geek shit for the week, for this week. We got some pretty cool. Huh?
Yeah, you actually have stuff.
Yeah, we actually have a lot of shit for this week so far. The first thing I could actually talk on is we've seen Timothée Chalamet gonna be in a bunch of different things, or Chalamet. I think that's how you pronounce it.
Shalamar.
Right. Yeah. And he's supposed to be in a bunch of things. He's gonna be in the new Dune that's coming out in the next few weeks, or a couple months or whatever. He's in the new Doom, but we also got word that he is gonna be playing Willy Wonka in basically the origin stories of Willy Wonka, and looks pretty interesting. Because of course, we know Willy Wonka is one of those weird ass characters that we kind of gave you a little bit of nightmares sometimes when I was younger. It gave me nightmares with him in the fucking in the little tunnel and shit.
Yeah, I never saw that movie until I was like in my 20s.
Yeah, it was fucking weird, but it's definitely like I enjoyed to love it after a while. Snozberries taste like snozberries, but like um what I really want to see is like what really turned him to be such a maniacal motherfucker, and I want to see why it went that way for him. So I kind of want to I want to see, you know, what were the key points in his life that turned him to be that way. So that's I'm excited to see this.
Yeah, if it's good, I'll check it out. But I'm not into that, so I'm just like, okay. I mean, I understand the way Willy Wonka is part of pop culture, but I just never really got into it. Like I said, I think I saw it a little bit out there, started smoking weed with a friend of mine, and I was like, all right, this is cool, but like, you know, okay. I love Gene Wilder though.
Yeah.
This, you know, hopefully this works, and I know I saw a lot of people flipping out about it online, but hey, like I said before, man, it's not made for you. Don't watch it. You don't like it, you still have the original or the shitty Burton one. So
yeah. Some people love the Burton ones. Why?
But I think the Burton one was the one that made me watch the OG one. Like I think we were just smoking one day with some friends, and then we're like, "Fuck it, I'll watch the other one."
Yeah, that's fair. I wasn't a fan of the Burton ones. I'm like, yeah.
But like this Timothy Chalamet guy. Have you seen anything of his that he's done? Because I've not. Like I just looked on his list, and I'm like, I didn't see anything that
he's been in a whole bunch of shit that I don't really know. Like
exactly. I just noticed that on this thing.
I know he's done in a bunch of shit. And then like we've seen him in the trailer for, you know, for doing this. I'm like, okay, this is gonna be interesting to see him in this. But I've also seen him like just pop up in random things. I'm like, okay. And then like the biggest thing that I kind of noticed him from was the SNL skit that he did with fucking with your boy Pete Davidson when they're making fun of rappers. That was hilarious.
I got a rant on him later when we're talking about something else. But yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, like it was a hilarious little skit or whatever that they were skeet. They were making fun of rappers today. It was fucking funny as shit. But yeah, like I really don't know much about Timothy Chalamet.
The only one that I heard of because I want to see it and because it got really good reviews is Call Me by Your Name, which is about like this gay love story between an adult and a kid. Okay. And I think he's the kid. Like he got really good reviews. He's Oscar nominated apparently. But that's like the only thing I specifically remember him being mentioned in. Anything else I haven't seen him in yet. I'm looking forward to doing a lot because I love the book. And it's for people who saw the rough cuts last year. They said it was really good, so I'm actually really looking forward to that one. Okay, but as far as this, I'm like, I don't really care.
So. That's fair. That's all good. It's all good. Something else that came out that was actually like I'm super fucking excited for because it's one of my favorite games. And I'm not really much of a gamer nowadays, but like when this game first came out and when the second part of this came out, I was like, oh my god, this is fucking amazing.
Yeah, I forgot you had it, and then I fucking bought it on eBay. I didn't realize you had it, and I bought it on eBay.
Yeah, and the game we're talking about is Portal. So Portal is gonna be coming out with a movie. And that's fucking cool. But not just that, but like it's being done by J.J. Abrams. And it's in development at the moment. And I'm fucking excited for it. This is really fucking cool because, of course, this game is one of those games that actually, you know, at one point it got me back into gaming, and I was like, oh my god, this is such a good game because it's one of the best fucking like puzzle games you could fucking ever try. Mm-hmm. It's fucking good.
Yeah, I totally forgot about that whole Valve making a Portal movie. I'm with you. Excuse me. I think it's one of the best games of all time. I think Portal 2 is even better. Yeah. It's a really crazy idea. Basically, someone's trapped in a scientific installation where people are doing experiments with time and space and physics. And in order for your character to escape, you have to use this portal gun. So you point it at something, at a wall or a certain surface, and when you shoot it first, you open up a portal, and then like you shoot it again, and that's the other side of the portal. and then through that, you have to figure out how to get out of the installation by solving every room's puzzle. And it's a really good game. Part 2 is even better because you have more than just the portal gun. You have the jump gun, the speed gun, and some other shit. And it's just like, it's a really good way to test out your brain. And like, I beat it like last year, and I went back and played it again last year, and it still holds up. It's fucking good. It's hilarious because the script for it is really good. Valve knows everything about making a good game story. And this guy's in it, who's one of my favorite characters, is the bad guy. What the fuck is his name now? I can't remember. Steve Merchant, right?
Yep.
Yeah, Steven Merchant. Yeah, he's a bad guy in the second one. It's really good. Like, if you guys haven't checked it out, it's definitely worth picking up. It's I know on PlayStation, it's part of the free one. It's out there. It's cheap. I know on Xbox it's free with Game Pass, but you have to buy it for PlayStation. But it's it's a really good game. I'm really curious to see how they're gonna do this, because it's like the only characters that are in it are the girl. Which is your character, Chell, I think her name is, and you don't speak. You just do your shit. Like, everyone else in the game reacts to what you do. So,
I think that'll probably be the best way to do it. It's like you basically you're interacting with the AI, because you've been out of commission for a while. You don't know what the fuck is going on. So having the robots talk to you would be the best way to fucking make the game.
Yeah, because in the first one, the evil robot's Gladys, and then in the second one, it's complicated, but then it ends up being Wheaton, which is the Stephen Merchant character plus Gladys. I like the second one a lot more than the first one, but like I said, I'm really curious to see how they're gonna do it. The mythos and the background stuff that they explore in the game is really interesting and fucked up, and especially in Portal 2. You kind of J.K. Simmons does the voice of the guy who invented all this shit, and the story that tells in the second one is really fucked up. Like,
it's a fucked up story.
Yeah, it's fucked up, but it's great. I can't wait to see what they do with this. It's gonna be a challenge because it's a hard story to put on film, I think, or to tell in that kind of way. Like, the story fits a video game, because like I said, they react to everything you do. And when you kind of like put that on the screen, you got to do it very differently. So hopefully, fingers crossed. J.J. Abrams is an idiot sometimes. He just admitted this week that they didn't have a plan for the sequels. So I'm like, dude, get your shit together, man. Hopefully he gets the shit right, man.
Yeah, we can hope so. We can just cross our fingers and continue to hope. Because, Obi-Wan is the only hope. That's right?
Yeah, man. Keep hope alive.
Yeah, exactly. And then it's something else that's staying alive is Cobra Kai. Cobra Kai announced this week that for season 4, which we barely got season 3 at the moment, Terry Silver, who was in the Karate Kid 3, will be reprising his role from Karate Kid 3 in Cobra Kai season 4.
Who is he? Because I never saw that one. Is that the one with the girl?
No, it's still with
they made like 5 movies. Holy shit! All right, I only saw the first 2, so and I saw the one with the kid, which I think is really good. It should have been called. It was Kung Fu Kid, but whatever.
Yeah,
Jackie Chan. That was good though. I like that one.
Yeah, but Terry Silver actually played basically the next person down after what's his face, after the main dude in Cobra Kai.
Okay.
Yeah, that was like his underling or whatever. He was badass. He was really fun. It was really good to see him in that, and then seeing him actually coming back as an older badass again. It's gonna be fucking cool. It's really fucking cool. Like, I fucking loved Cobra Kai the first 2 seasons, and I'm like, I need more.
I had to chill out because that first season hit too close to home. Like, I was one of those I'm a loser moments of my life, and I was like, wow, it's just too close to home. But no, I'll give it a shot.
Deep.
The first season is good, man. Like, it cutting too close, but like, I'll go back and watch it.
It's hard to watch sometimes, especially if you're going through some shit. But it's definitely a good watch, especially like the shit that goes through, especially when it winds up turning into like not just the Johnny story, but everybody else's story at the same time.
Okay. I'm definitely gonna give it a shot. It's like I said, I saw most of the first season. I really liked it.
Yeah, definitely. Everybody else should go watch it too. Of course, it's good. And then some other shit that came out. I think you should talk about your thing first before we continue with the other stuff. We still got a couple more things.
All right, cool. So since I'm the one that's really into Warhammer, I'm the super Warhammer nerd. I was really excited by some news that came out this week. Warhammer, the Games Workshop, the company behind Warhammer and Warhammer 40K, are starting a streaming service in next month in June, which I'm highly excited for. They hired some of the best people that made fan movies of Warhammer online, because like if you like just put Warhammer 40K into YouTube, every now and then you're gonna see like a bunch of fan made movies that are really fucking good. Like they're next level animation. Like it's really, really good. And Games Workshop is one of the few companies that actually understands how this should work. And they hired somebody who made one of the best CGI cartoons ever done about anything called Astartes. And like this dude is going to be taking care. He's basically the in charge of all the animation that's going to be coming out now. And I didn't realize it was going to happen so fast. I also didn't realize there was going to be at least 11 shows. So let me just read the article straight up. It's easier for me. Warhammer Plus streaming service will come with tons of animated content. Warhammer Plus is a new streaming service from Games Workshop, publisher of tabletop games in settings such as Warhammer and Warhammer 40,000. It will be loaded with animated series. It will be loaded with animated series from the British company's flagship science fiction universe, as well as the Warhammer fantasy universe. There are 11 titles announced so far, with standouts such as Astartes 2, which is the one I was talking about before, Altar of Wrath, Interrogator, and Black Talon. On top of this, Amazon's still working on the Eisenhorn thing. The guy who created those characters, Dan Abnett, who's a great writer and one of my favorites, talked about it on this really cool interview that he did, and he's like, "Yeah, like it's happening." But it was funny because he didn't say shit about the streaming service, so I was just like, "Motherfucker." Yeah, man. So yeah, Games Workshop teased part of this project back in March when they announced just a few titles from the launch lineup. GW has spent the last few years courting fan artists such as Richard Boylan and Sienna Pedersen, who had created high-profile YouTube series independently. Now those creators are forming the core of the company's attempt to participate in the streaming wars. There's a wide variety of stories on offer, from 2D animation to 3D that aims for photorealism. The majority of stories do seem to focus on 40K and its vast setting of aliens and empires, but there are a few glimpses at scenes from the current Age of Sigmar setting as well. The show that we've seen the most of so far is Angels of Death. Yeah, man. Blood Angels, a 10-part animated series with 10-minute episodes focusing on the Space Marine chapter known as the Blood Angels. The other show is Pariah Nexus. No, check this out, dude. It's awesome. I didn't read this fucking thing. Pariah Nexus focuses on the Necrons, those little robot men.
Oh, nice. Yeah.
The robot zombies. Pariah Nexus focuses on the Necrons and has them fight against several factions within the Imperium of Man. Hammer and Bolter is going to be an anthology series like the book was, focusing on short stories within both Warhammer universes. And Interrogator is a show about a man who's looking to avenge his dead boss, an Imperial Inquisitor. That should be particularly interesting for fans of the Inquisitor novels, which are currently being adapted into a live-action show for Amazon. Warhammer Plus, I was like really like pleasantly surprised about this, because a lot of the new streaming services have issues getting on iOS and Android. Warhammer Plus will be available on everything: smart TVs, iOS, and Android devices. The launch is set for July. Oh, my bad. I thought it was June, but July, which is still close. Although details of details are still being sorted out. They didn't even mention or talk about cost. I hope it's on the cheaper side, because they have a tendency to like overprice their stuff. But the content like this, I mean, I don't know how they're gonna do it. The announcement comes on the tail end of Game Workshop's launch. Oh, never mind. That's some other shit. I'm like super excited. Like,
it sounds really fucking cool.
Yeah, man. Like I jumped back into Warhammer last year just because of the lockdown and shit, and like I just missed it, like playing it and fucking around. And then with the new box set that they came out last year, I picked it up and I really got back into Warhammer again. Not that I ever left it. Like I read the novels all the time. I'm obsessed with them. I actually put like 200 fucking books on my Kindle because Home the Bundle had a bunch of shit, and then I started reading stuff and I was like, wow, I gotta go back and read this shit again.
Nice.
I'm gonna be 100 by the time I finish reading all these books. But Warhammer 40K and Warhammer Fantasy, like, it's well done. This company has been around since the 80s, late 80s, and they've been creating a universe in both the fantasy world and the 40K setting, which is in the far future. They've done so much good shit, and I know you've kind of gotten into it through me and one of your coworkers, and because your kid, your kid's into it now too.
Yep.
It's good, it's great, it's ultra violent, it's fucked up. Some of the stories are gonna blow your fucking mind, but what you're gonna see is gonna be fucking awesome. I cannot wait for this, man. I was like giddy as a schoolgirl, like the Saturday Night Live thing. I was like, oh my god, like I was like, yo, because they've been like, this year they've been releasing a lot of really good shit, like between the toys. I mean, not toys, the war game figurines, between the new characters and stuff and new armies for the game, plus like the Stardies guy said a year ago, he was like, look, I had to shut this down, but I shut it down for a good reason. I'm going to come back with something bigger and badder, and you guys are going to love it. And then, lo and behold, we get Warhammer Plus. So yeah, hopefully it's cool. It works out. I cannot wait to see this shit. The trailer alone is fucking cool. I showed it to you this week, right? The trailer?
Yeah, you showed me. Yeah.
The teaser? Yeah, the teaser is really good. Just if you just look up, just Google Warhammer 40K just Google Warhammer Plus, and it'll come up, and you'll see the preview, the teaser. It's like 30 seconds, but they showed a lot of really good fucking animation stuff. Like, it looks really fucking good. Like,
it does.
Man, they showed like 2D and 3D stuff in that teaser. So yeah, definitely. I'm fucking psyched. I'm psyched as fuck for this, man. Like, I've been waiting for this shit since I was in high school and started playing it, man. This is gonna be badass.
It's gonna be cool. It does look really good, and I'm excited to see them actually, broaden their horizons and bring everybody else that doesn't really know much about it into the whole mix of things.
And another thing that's interesting about them is that they weren't like this, like in the 2000s. Like, they fucking sent cease and desist letters to a lot of people back in the day. And I think it's awesome that they've actually like turned that around 180 degrees, and they're like, you know what, you guys know how to do it. Because there have been like a couple of animated movies, but they look like fucking GoBots. Like, it looked really bad. It looked like what's that Lego thing with the it just looked really bad and stupid. Like, if you don't do it right, the Space Marines look fucking stupid. But when it's done right, man, they look fucking awesome. And it looks like a
shittier version of Robot Chicken.
Yeah. What's the fuck? There's a Lego thing that they look just like it. I can't remember, but yeah, man, this has been a long time coming, and I can't fucking wait.
Okay, awesome. That's very fucking cool. Like, I'm excited to see it because of like I'm just starting to get into these things, so like it's good to, like I said, that they're trying to actually broaden their horizons, actually show people that don't really know much about it, and actually introduce them in their own little way. It's gonna be cool. It's gonna be really fucking cool, actually.
Yeah.
Some other shit that's gonna be really fucking cool. Something that I'm super excited for. We kind of spoke a few months ago, actually, about Sony and the whole Spider-Man, the whole workings of it, that they've been looking for Kraven the Hunter, and they finally got their Kraven the Hunter, and somebody that's actually been in the MCU previously. And in who I'm talking about is Aaron Taylor Johnson, who played Quicksilver in Avengers Age of Ultron. And that's fucking exciting, dude, because of course, we all know that fucking he died then. And the fact that they're bringing him into in a way, it's kind of a separate universe, because now I guess
the Spider-Verse, I guess, because only Spider-Man is in the MCU.
Yeah, exactly. Spider-Man is in the MCU, and then the fact technically that Spider-Man after the next movie isn't a part of the MCU anymore. He's gonna be going straight to that side, to the Sony side of things, because of course Sony's been doing a bunch of these other villains as well, like the fact that we're getting the Venom and the Carnage in the next one, and they're working on Morbius over there, and a bunch of other shit over on that side. The fact that they're actually gonna be doing a whole Kraven movie is gonna be fucking dope.
Yeah, Kraven the Hunter. Kraven in the comics is just like, imagine a big game hunter, but he's hunted everybody else, and he's hunted every animal that you could possibly hunt, And when he comes to the States, he sets his sights on Spider-Man as being like the biggest prey that he can hunt, because he thinks he's such a good character. He thinks he's such a fucking challenge to fight, and he's such a good dude. He becomes obsessed with hunting down Spider-Man. The guy is completely fucking insane. So I'm really looking forward to this. I mean, I don't even know if they're gonna have Spider-Man in it, because a lot of this shit they're like, yo, no, Venom doesn't need Spider-Man. So I don't know how they're gonna do it, but yeah, it's just I'm psyched. This dude can act. I've been a fan of his since Kick-Ass. Sony has finally wisened up and started to take an MCU approach to stuff with the stuff that's going to be coming out later, like Morbius and the other stuff, and Venom, Carnage. So yeah, man, I'm in, man. I think it's an interesting casting choice. Absolutely. I really like hope they don't fuck this up. I just want to see him like suited up as Kraven. You know, like I really want to see how he's going to look on screen.
Yeah, I will see how Peter goes crazy.
Yeah, because in the comics, his costume is a vest made out of a lion skin.
Yeah,
and sometimes he's got pants on, sometimes he's got loincloth. So
and sometimes he has the lion head, like the skull.
Yeah, he's got the helmet on sometimes. Yeah. What's
it's
crazy,
fucking dope.
Died so many times in the Marvel comics, because last I looked, he had killed himself in the comics. So I'm interested. I'm really, I won't say I'm like super psyched, but I do want to see this. Kraven's one of the better characters of the Spider-Verse.
Oh, absolutely, because he's one of those, like, he's a ruthless motherfucker, dude. Like he wants what he wants, and most of the time he does get it, other than getting Spider-Man. But yeah, dude, it's gonna be fucking cool, especially with Kick-Ass, at the helm for this. I'm excited.
Did you read that comic in the 80s, the Kraven's Last Hunt?
Yes, I did.
It's so good. Yeah, he kills himself at the end of that. Yeah. In the comic books, which is like I'm shocked sometimes at some of the things that Marvel let loose or let through the cracks. In the 80s, like around after 86, when Dark Knight and Watchmen came out, they started doing darker stories for some of the characters, and one of the stories was Kraven's Last Hunt, and basically Kraven hunts down Peter Parker when he's wearing his normal black suit, not the symbiote. But he tracks him down, and he basically drugs him, buries him for a month, and then Kraven takes over the Spider-Man identity and basically just goes crazy in New York. And then Spider-Man comes back, literally digs himself out of the grave, and then he goes after Kraven, and then Kraven realizes that he haunted him and he won, so he blows his brains out. It's a really crazy comic book. And it's totally worth a read. Yeah,
it's definitely worth a read. So
great art too. It's really good art too for the 80s. It held up.
I was just about to say that for the 80s, it was really good artwork.
I think it was Mike Zeck. I know Mike Zeck was doing the covers. I'm not sure if he did the art inside. I got to double check. But yeah, it's a great comic book.
Yeah, absolutely. That is a great fucking look for Marvel for Sony to pull this off. So I'm excited to see it. Like it's one of those things that's just like, holy shit, like wonder what else they're gonna put out for the Sony world, because of course they are working on putting out Spider-Man Far From Home now, or what is
No
it?
Way Home.
Yeah, No Way Home. Yeah, whatever. But yeah, it's exciting. Too many homes.
Homie, don't play that.
Yeah. And then a couple more things that were pretty fucking dope for this week. And one thing that I was super excited for. Actually, I'll leave the super excited one for after the first thing that came out, which was Eternals. We got the first full trailer for Eternals. And that was exciting because we didn't really see what was going on with Eternals previously. And in this one, we get a detailed look into what the fuck is going on with Eternals, because as far as for the MCU verse, we don't really know what the fuck is going on there, and they've been talking about it for a while, like, oh, what's going on with Eternals? For a lot of people, they don't fucking know. And the Eternals is basically a whole story of these demigods in a way that are basically that somewhat enforce their ways in a slight way among the normal people and stuff like that. They kind of like guide them in a way, and we kind of see that in the trailer. Like, oh yeah, like, you know, they have little influences. That's the word I was looking for. Guiding them. What the fuck is wrong with me? But but yeah, they give little influences and kind of show people how to do things and how to run things, because all these gods have, you know, what all the technical gods that we've basically found out, because of course, you know, one of them is Athena, and you know, the god of runnings and shit. And there's a lot of gods that basically were based off of these characters, I guess you can kind of say. And it's really fucking cool the way they do it, and I'm excited to see what they're gonna do with this, because of course, you know, it's a whole new brand of things that they're gonna be putting out, and I'm excited to see what they're gonna do with it and how it fits into the MCU today. So I'm very excited for it. It has a huge cast. A couple people from Game of Thrones are in it. Angelina Jolie as Athena was fucking dope. Fucking Salma Hayek. Salma Hayek.
Yeah, she's so hot. Yeah, she's in it.
Yeah, and Kumail is he looks like he's part of Bollywood, because of course, you know, after a while people start, you know, they start losing their religion.
So they use like secret identities. Like, I never read the comic, but I'm going to. And they show a couple of things in the trailer. Trailer's actually really good. It's the costumes are really good, which I was kind of worried about, because in the comics they're kind of silly looking. Yeah. They were created by Kirby back in the 60s. Yeah, and way back then. I think the big series that brought them back into the like comic book world was like 10 years ago. So I'm gonna track that one down and see how it is. I'll see the movie. Like, I'll definitely check out the movie. But yeah, no, it was a really good trailer, and I wasn't really interested in it. But now I'm kind of like, I'll check it out. Looks good. Yeah, it does. It looks really good. It looks really entertaining. I'm really, really into it, and I saw a couple of kind of like the breakdown videos that they're like all over the internet and shit. I saw a lot of shit that I'm interested in. I'm like, okay, I kind of want to see how that all makes sense for the MCU, because of course we don't know how this will fit into everything in the long run. Yeah, it's like they've been behind the scenes, like at the birth of civilization. These aliens come to Earth, and they start to like really help, like, you know, Steve said, influence them, and then like. At some point in their story, they're like, okay, we gotta step back and stuff, because we've been like kind of influencing them way too much. They're not ours. And then they kind of go back, and then in the future, sometime in the current Marvel and the current MCU, you know, they go from the past to the current status of the MCU, and there's another like world destroying enemy coming that only the Eternals can get, because like you said, they're almost gods. They're so powerful they could be gods. And it should be good. I mean, like, I don't think Disney can fuck anything up now anymore, but you know, let's see how it goes. The cast is stellar, like you said. One thing that the movie was good. Special effects too. The magic powers are like, it took Disney a really long time to figure out how to do magic powers on screen. That shit looks really good in the trailer. Yeah, it looks really, really good. From what I did check out in one of the videos, is basically them saying that I didn't remember this, but apparently they're from the same planet where Thanos is from. Oh, yeah. Okay. So, which kind of ties in, like, okay, they are technically, in a way, somewhat within the timeline of fucking Thanos. I'm like, okay, that kind of makes sense, because he is a god as well, in a way. So, seeing how that fits into it, I'm like, okay, this is interesting, and how they didn't know about Thanos when he came up. It's going to be interesting. And how in the trailer they basically wind up saying like, oh yeah, so who's going to be the next, you know, the next Iron Man or whatever, or Captain America? He was like, I can fit in. Sorry, talking about fucking this dude trying to be fucking Moon Knight, because Moon Knight's supposed to be in this as well. Okay. That's the Kit Harington from Game of Thrones. He's supposed to be playing Moon Knight. No, Black Knight. Oh yeah, Black Knight, not Moon Knight. Well, yeah, too many nights. I was like, what the fuck? Too many nights. Moon Knight's TV, Black Knight's movie. Yeah. Moon Knight, and that character, Black Knight. Yeah, Black Knight has a huge part in the story.
Yeah.
That much I do remember. Like I remember that part. Like, yeah, he's got a huge part in the story. Like, should be cool.
Yeah. Should be awesome. It should be really cool. I'm excited to see what they're gonna do with this. I'm excited what they're gonna do with all the characters, because of course there's a shit ton of characters. Like a good 10 characters in this. It's gonna be pretty much not like, like
Plus whoever's the bad guy.
Right. Plus whoever's the bad guy. They actually did touch on the bad guy in the trailer as well. Not exactly sure who the real bad guy is, but there's a lot of characters in this, and I'm kind of ready to see what they're gonna do with it, because of course I'm a big mark for the MCU shit. So give it to me now. Then some other shit that came out this week that looked really fucking good, and it's the final thing for the early part of the show. We got a trailer for something that I've been wanting to see for a really long time. I'm a huge fan of Karen Gillan because, of course, she was not only was she in Guardians of the Galaxy, but before she was in Guardians of the Galaxy, I kind of fell in love with her. She's like my favorite ginger ever. She was in Doctor Who. She was one of the companions in Doctor Who. And recently, she's been working on some shit. She started working on something a couple years ago, like a year and a half ago or so, just before all the quarantine shit started. But we finally got a trailer for what she was working on, and that is Gunpowder Milkshake. And it sounds like a crazy fucking movie, because it could be an absolute insanity movies. It's a shoot 'em up movie from what we see so far in the trailer. Super shoot 'em ups. And it's awesome with a bunch of fucking amazing lady cast members. And I'm super psyched for it.
Yeah, man, the cast for this looks really good. Michelle Yeoh's in it. Lena Headey's in it.
Mm-hmm.
Carla Gugino, whatever, who I love. I can't pronounce her name. Who's the other one?
Angela Bassett.
Yeah. Basically, from what we've seen in the trailer, it looks like they're like
assassins and shit.
Yeah, she's like a female. There's a society of female assassins. Basically, it looks like Lady John Wick. The fight scenes that they show in that trailer look really good, and the shootout stuff that they showed, the gun fu stuff, looks really fucking cool. So like, really hoping. I'm looking forward to this now. I just hate that there's no release date for it. Yeah, man, it looks really fucking good.
It looks amazingly good, dude.
And for those that don't know, Michelle Yeoh started as a kung fu actress in China. So like, this is her going back to her thing. She was in what was it? Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon. But she's in a bunch of shit. Like if you look at her career, like she started as a martial artist, and she's one of the best in the world. She was like a female Jackie Chan. Yeah.
She was technically what was gonna be in the female Jackie Chan, because they were trying to push her out, as a huge martial artist or whatever, but that never really happened in a way.
Here it didn't happen. Back over there and
I'm talking over here. Like I know over there she's fucking huge.
Yeah,
but over here she never really popped like Jackie Chan did.
Yeah, she's great in the Star Trek stuff. She's getting her own series, I heard. So
nice.
She's really good in the Star Trek stuff. She plays a villain.
Okay. That's awesome. But yeah, dude, this shit looks fucking dope, dude. Like, I'm super fucking excited for it. I really want this to happen. I want this to happen soon, because it looks fucking good, dude.
Really I agree. I didn't know anything about this shit, and you told me about it, and I was like, whoa, like, this looks really good.
Yeah, like I seen it a while back when they were originally filming it, that Karen Gillan was actually fucking around with Lena Headey or whatever. They were shooting videos with each other and shit, like both pranking each other on set and shit. It's really fucking funny. I was like, oh my god, I want to see this movie, because of course, fucking, like I said, I fucking am a huge fan of Karen Gillan and her gingerness, and Lena Headey from fucking Game of Thrones, she's fucking dope, and not only that, but she was in Terminator, the TV show. She was good in that shit too.
That was really good, man. Yeah. That's my Firefly. Like, I love that show. It's never been canceled.
Yeah, that show was great, dude. She was really good. That was the show that the Sarah Connor Chronicles. Yeah,
it's really good.
That was the show that that made me love fucking her as well. I was like, oh my god, she's fucking amazing.
And that show was like really ahead of its time too. Like some of the stuff that they do
yeah.
and the special effects that they do, and that show for that time were like fucking great. I mean, one of the reasons why I got canceled is because it was so expensive to make, but it was really, really fucking good.
Yeah, because it did have it was very, very like it had a huge budget because it was, of course, and it was a Fox show as well too. Like,
yeah, Fox took a lot of chances with stuff back in the day.
Yeah, yeah. And the thing, it wasn't even that long ago. It was probably like about 10 years ago or so. Probably even less.
Nah, it was in the 2000s because it was a while ago. Like,
okay, I could be completely wrong, but yeah. But yeah, Sarah Connor Chronicles was awesome. So I'm glad that she's actually still doing her shit in fucking Hollywood and putting out some amazing shit. Because she's been dope in fucking Game of Thrones, even though she was, very weirdly incestuous with her brother and shit. But besides that, she's fucking good. Shame. But yeah, dude, that's it for the geek shit for this week. Do you have anything else to add for the geek shit this week?
Really quick, it just popped up. I might talk about it a little bit more next week. But one of the actors that did a character in The Last of Us has just been hired to do her character in this show, which is pretty cool. Like that never happens. That's never happened before, I don't think. So yeah, that's like the only thing that I saw that was like interesting. But I'll talk about that later.
Nice, very cool. And that pretty much is for the geek shit. So if you want to listen to spoilers and for some detailed reviewings, stay tuned. Stay tuned until after the song.
Yeah, if you haven't seen MODOK or Wrath of Man, this is your cue to skedaddle. Thanks for listening, and
yes. Yes. So MODOK and Wrath of Man after this little break. Yeah, and the break talking about D. Snyder. He came out with another song this week. He's been working on solo shit, not necessarily, his stuff that he's been doing with Twisted Sister. He's been doing a bunch of solo shit recently. And the song that he's put out this week is actually called I Gotta Rock Again. And it's fucking dope. It's heavy, it's good. So check it out, and we'll be right back.
It's that time again. Did you think that it would end? Wild and freewheeling, so damn appealing. I can't stop. It's not something that I choose. Just what I gotta do. While my mind is still screaming, I can't stop. Be alive until I'm done. Gonna ride it till I'm gone. For as long as I'm breathing, won't stop till I drop. Let us strap in, I'm coming in hot. Here we go. It's time to roll again. I gotta rock. I survive. Being fine, gonna rock until I die. Here we go. It's time to roll again. I gotta rock. This is life. I'm gonna rock until the day that I die. Yeah. There's no better feeling like there's nothing you can't do. It's a heavy metal healing with your questions answered and your dreams come true. Won't stop till I drop. Better strap in, I'm coming in hot.
Yay! Always been a fan of D. Snyder. Always been a fan of Twisted Sister, and I'm excited that he's actually still doing shit today. I know you're not a huge fan of his, but
yeah, like he's like the curmudgeon of metal for some
Yeah.
things. Like I don't get it. Like I'm really ranty this week. It's fucking weird.
It's all good. It's all good. You haven't done done rants in a while.
The D. Snyder thing, it's more like I grew up in the metal scene in New York in the 80s and 90s, right?
Mhm.
And like D. Snyder was like Twisted Sister to us was a joke. They were just a hair band. And yeah, I know that D. Snyder did a lot for metal music. He testified in front of Congress during the 80s with the whole satanic scare shit that was going on.
The
Cool.
satanic panic.
But he fucking acts like he fucking saved rock and roll and metal. And I'm like, dude, call me tits. And I'm not making this shit up. Like every documentary that he's in, he takes like huge credit for it. And I'm like, cool. But there's a million fucking bands behind you, dude. Like, what the fuck? And then the other thing is like a lot of people suck his dick. And I'm like, no offense. I'm listening to that song. And I'm like, that's the dumbest fucking rhyming structure I've heard in a song in a long time. Like, you know, hat, cat, bat, tap. Like, dude, what the fuck, man? Like, I get it, but that's just not for me. But like, just on a personal level, as someone who grew up in the metal scene in New York in the 80s and 90s, like, I didn't see Twisted Sister. I never saw D. Snyder in the pit with us. I didn't see him moshing or stage diving with us. Like, you know, like, shut up, old man. You know, fucking get a haircut, number one. Number two, like you know, make some good music, dude. Like I just don't like it. To me, he's hair metal, and I don't like hair metal. But yeah, like I do give him the fact that he showed the world that people into metal aren't idiots because he was like really eloquent when he did his testimony.
Absolutely.
But I don't give a fuck. Like that was 30 fucking years ago, man. Like ugh, like I hate that shit. Like there's a lot of bands that I hate that people love, like Motley Crue. A bunch of the other bands, I'm like, fuck them. Like, I hate those bands. Like, yeah, like when I was into music and metal, it wasn't about girls. It was about music and like expressing myself and getting the stress out of living in the ghetto. And that's what I grew up with. And like I said, I never listened. Like my parents had Twisted Sister shit, all right? Like not me. So I'm like the way he acts about fucking being like the song we just heard is about him saving metal. Like, what the fuck? No, get the fuck out of here. All right, that's my D. Snyder fan club application.
It's all good. It's all good. I ain't mad at you. It's all good. Like you said earlier, like we all have, you know, we all have our likes and our dislikes, and we you know.
Yeah, I mean, there's stuff I love, like musically, that you don't like, and it's cool. Same thing with vice versa. It's all good. You know?
Yeah, exactly. Like we all have our choices. We all have the things that we enjoy, and that's cool. That's what makes us us, you know.
Granted, you have really good taste, so for the most part, I actually like dig what you recommend, but every now and then I'm like
very few and in between.
Yeah, like not for me, bro.
Yeah, exactly. That's one thing that you have to understand is like, yo, certain things just aren't for you, and I get it. Like some things aren't for me as well. Like certain like pop bands aren't for me. Like I get it, you know. A lot of artists aren't for me. Like you were saying earlier, like The Weeknd. It's not really for me. Like I can see why people enjoy him, but it's not really for me. Like I can give a fuck less. But I saw him at the Super Bowl, but it's not like I'm gonna go pay to go see him.
Exactly.
Another band that we something that we didn't really touch on earlier was another band that you were talking that you were basically saying that are basically copying another band that we're huge into, like Led Zeppelin. This band that is basically like a cover band for them is fucking Greta Van Fleet. They huge fucking band. They recently like were nominated for a Grammy and shit for their technically like what it sounds like a fucking cover album. It's insane.
Wow. I gotta check them out because I never heard of them, but I love Zeppelin, so like I really gotta check them out. Like I'm really not hip to modern music. Like a lot of my shit is old, so it's like even when I put certain bands into Spotify, like I'm like, hey, who the fuck are they? But the thing is now between from 2020, 2019, there's been a lot of really good bands that I've randomly heard, and a lot of the collaborations that happened last year during the big major shutdown is actually still happening. A lot of bands collaborated and did shit and made me listen to their music. So you know, there is good music out there, but you really gotta hunt for it.
Exactly, you gotta hunt for it. You gotta find it. That's the benefits of like like playlists and stuff like that. Like that's what I fucking love.
On Spotify, I love Spotify.
Yeah. So enough of us, ranting about other shit and talking about other things that weren't necessarily what we were going for at this moment.
You want to do MODOK first?
Yeah, let's do MODOK first because that was the first thing that we watched this week. MODOK is a character we've seen in the Marvel universe for a really fucking long time, but we got news that they were gonna do a whole fucking show on him, and it was being backed by Patton Oswalt. And I was like, okay, I'm in. And then we got to see that it was also, had slight, tie-ins to fucking Robot Chicken. I fucking love Robot Chicken. And seeing that they were going to do the animation style very much similar to it, I was like, yes, I am definitely into this. And we got that this past week or whatever. We got the whole series on Hulu. And it's fucking great. And of course they kind of made it a little family friendly because of course you don't necessarily want to make a villainous character a whole show just on a villain, and in which they kind of what they did was that they pretty much gave him a whole family.
They made him sympathetic. This show is not for kids. Like let's just get that out of the way. Like the show is not for kids.
Right.
But they made him into a really sympathetic family dude. And
they made him a human. They made him human instead of just a complete douchebag of a villain,
like he is in the comics.
Right. But yeah, dude, like it's good because they like I said they gave him a whole family. They gave him something that that we weren't expecting to see was a whole family for MODOK. They gave him a Spanish wife, a daughter, and a son. A daughter that looks just like him, and a son that looks like his wife, and it's fucking cool. It's a really good fucking show.
Yeah, I love Patton Oswalt. Like to me, he's like the anti Kevin Smith. Like whatever he does and nerdy shit, like he knows his stuff. Like I followed him since he started doing stand up, and I remember him from Kings of Queens, which is he was like the only reason I watched that shit. And like I've seen him kind of like
was nice too.
Yeah, but and too Long Island for me. But it was Patton Oswalt has paid dues and he's fucking climbed the ladder like hard. Like he's
for sure.
He's a really great actor and comedian. He's done some of the funniest he's done some of the funniest pop culture rants ever. If you think mine are crazy, you should listen to his. The stories about him on Blade 3 with what happened on Blade 3 are actually really
with Busty Snipes and everything.
Busty Pipes. It's fucking good, man. I showed you the trailer because I didn't know it was coming out, and I was really happy with this, man. It's a really funny show, like from start to finish, from the first episode to the other one. It's jokes every second, and I think the way I put it on Twitter was the show's made for Marvel fans. I mean Marvel comic book fans, and for people who have a sense of humor and who can watch shows like Robot Chicken and get what they're going. It's all satire and it's all kind of just like poking fun at Marvel Comics and at like the being a husband and a dad. It's a really funny, really cool show. Like you said, it's not the typical supervillain show, and it's got a big heart. Like every episode kind of has like a moral to it, and it's hilarious. I haven't seen Robot Chicken in a really long time, and I really kind of want to go back because a lot of it's on HBO Max. I haven't laughed out loud that much in a long time. I think that's how it started because you were cracking up when you saw it, and I was like, "What are you laughing at?" I'm
cracking up just listening to like one of the like one or two episodes, one or two like scenes. I was like, Jesus Christ, it's fucking funny.
I think the funniest and best one was the third episode with the villains, with the Barbara No Name. Like, see, that episode is so comic booky that I was so happy, right? Because I remember the stories of Captain America with the Barbara No Name. So he tries to get into this like club for supervillains. They call it the Lair or something like that. And he gets blocked at the door by the bouncer. And then he goes to the bar with no name, which is a bar in New York City that every supervillain goes to hang out and talk and get jobs and all this other shit. And it's Armadillo. It's like the second and third tier characters of the Marvel universe are in the show. Like everybody who's in it isn't like huge, and like you said, it's not connected to the MCU. So they use the villains that they won't or can't use on the movies, and he put it on the show. And like episode 3 has some of the funniest things on like comic book stuff I've ever witnessed in my life, dude. The Mandrill, when they showed his fucking giant dick, like not show up, but it's like blurred out. I was like, oh wow. Like they made a joke out of man drill, and I was just like, oh my god, it's fucking hilarious. It's Armadillo, Melter, Pound Cakes, I forgot who the other one. Oh, Rangard, the Screamer. Which are all goofy fucking villains, but they're fucking hilarious. Bill Hader has a lot of voices in this, and Pound Cakes was Whoopi Goldberg. And like the voice cast in this too is really, really good.
It's fucking great.
Yeah, man, like every episode's fucking hilarious. I think the third one and the third one and the one of Arcade and his younger self. That episode is fucking funny too, like the way they just start killing each other. Like we said too, just like Robot Chicken is not for kids. Because some of the shit they do in this is like, whoa. Like some of the jokes about like dying alone and when he's like kicked out of his house. And like the later shit.
It's very adult,
there's a lot of sex jokes and a lot of killing and a lot of blood. It's really well done. It's really funny. And like I said, if you have a sense of humor and you like Marvel comics, definitely check this out. I can see people who are into the MCU not getting into it. It was just kind of what I saw online when I was like, looking at reviews. But if you know where they're coming from, you'll love it. Dude, one of the reviews that I saw was like, oh, it's too much like Robot Chicken. And I'm like, it's because it's from the guys who did, Robot Chicken.
Seth Green. Seth Green is the one.
Yeah, I was like, how fucking stupid are you? Like, it looks like Robot Chicken. Like, of course it's gonna be like Robot Chicken, you moron. But anyway, like it's a really good show. It was another one that like I saw some toxicity after I watched it, and I was like, I cannot believe people didn't like this. Like, it was really good. But if you don't know the characters at all, I could see it being a little hard to get into. But it's good. It's really, really good. Like I was kind of heartbroken to hear that they're not going to do another season. That they might not do another season, but because apparently you said it was one of the shows that was made, but Disney wouldn't play it on their thing.
Exactly. It's not that it wasn't that Disney wasn't playing. It was one of those shows that Hulu was already planning on working on because of course like they did like they were working on what's it called Hellstrom. They were doing Hellstrom. They were doing this show. They were also going to do Howard the Duck and a couple other shows that were going to lead into a huge other universe, kind of like they were on Netflix that they had the fucking
okay.
They were trying to do that.
Stuff. Okay, we're cartoon.
Not necessarily cartoon stuff because it wasn't all going to be cartoons.
Oh yeah, you're right.
But it would have eventually wound up doing something like like what they'd had on the Netflix and with the Defenders and stuff like that. But that fell out because of course they dropped fucking Howard the Duck. Hellstrom was pretty much a flop, and the other show that they were gonna work on, they were like, fuck that show too. So the only thing that actually fully went into production was Hellstrom, which was like, but this one was actually one of the better ones that they actually put out, and I was like, okay, this is gonna be interesting. And the fact that like from the beginning they were everybody was pretty much saying like, yeah, this isn't part of the MCU. This is his own little separate universe type thing. Because it has no real backing behind Marvel other than the fact that you see certain Marvel characters in it that we've seen in the MCU. Like, there's Iron Man for a good chunk of it. And,
Thor's in it. Like a second in the Asgardian thing. The two goats in the chariot, that's Thor. That's the mythological version of Thor. Like, and even in the comic books at one point he had those things. But yeah, those two flying goats in the chariot, Thor's in that chariot.
Yeah, but you don't see a lot more other than than both of them in the whole show. You don't really see many other characters that we would see in the MCU. And it's cool because of course it's its own little entity, and it stands alone. It stands pretty good as well as it doesn't need anything else other than what we see it already. And it sucks because after the last episode I was like, I want more.
Yeah, same.
Like there's a lot of good shit. There's so much funny in this. The fucked up shit is that like I brought this up to one of my coworkers. I was like, yo, like you should watch the show. It's really fucking hilarious. He was like, I would watch it. I watched like an episode or two. But he was also telling me that the reason that Patton Oswalt was doing this was because I think it was last year or something like that, that he basically put some kids, some trolls address online. And he basically has to pay like 90% of his money to this kid because of the courts. The courts was like, yo, like, you need
See, that's the kind of shit that I'm talking about, yo. Like, I'm pretty sure whoever did that deserved it. And now he has to fucking make restitution because people go in. I mean, some of the shit I saw on the MODOK thing was fucked up. But like, I'll look into this court case thing because I never heard of it. I'll look into it. But I'm pretty sure the fucker deserved it.
Oh yeah. He was talking some shit about something that Patton was doing or whatever, and he was just like, "Yo, like I found your address. Here's the." And he pretty much put the address on Twitter or whatever. He was like, "Yo, like do what you want to this fucker. Let's fuck this guy." And yeah, the dude took him to court, and yeah, it was just some huge shit. I was like, yeah, whatever happened. He's doing some funny shit regardless, no matter what the fuck it is. He's like, I don't want to support him. I'm like, whatever, dude.
Yeah, I do. Fuck you. Like,
yeah, basically, whatever. Fuck him. He did what he did. Fuck it, whatever. Just like a lot of comedians, like they did what they did, and they apologized for it, and I'm like, whatever, bye. Yeah, but yeah, I fucking love MODOK. I don't give a fuck. It's fucking good. Patton Oswalt's fucking amazing. He's a good fucking dude. And it was fucking great. Like I'm excited. Like I really want to see another season of this. Let's do it. Let's do an online petition for Save MODOK.
Save MODOK. Yeah, I love the cast too, man. Like it was really fun, really good. Like I don't think they have a making of, but I would really like to see like how they did it because the cast and the scripts are really fucking funny. Like it's even thinking about it now, I'm starting to like smile and giggle because it's really fucking good.
Absolutely. It's fucking good, yo. Like the girl that plays his wife, fucking hilarious. She's the girl from fucking Reno, not Reno 901, fucking Brooklyn Nine-Nine.
Oh, duh. Okay.
Yeah. She's a Spanish girl from Brooklyn. Well, one of the Spanish girls, the goody two shoes one.
Yeah, I gotta finish that show. I'm just really anti-cop at the moment, but like, yeah,
no,
that show's good.
That's fair. That's completely fair. That happens. But yeah, it's a really, 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 really fun show. So we definitely recommend we give it 2 thumbs up over here for this show. It's fucking good. It's fucking great, actually. So go check it out.
It's 20. The only thing that sucks about this shit is it's Hulu's fault. Like they have fucking ads every 5 minutes. Like I wish, because I heard even the paid version. Like I don't even think they're doing the paid version anymore. But I think even that has ads in it. And I'm like, yo, what the fuck, Hulu? Like you already made your money, you greedy fucks. Like, what the hell? The ads were really bad this time, man. Like I was like, I pay YouTube to get premium just because I watch YouTube so much. I hate ads, and like the ads for this shit were like unbelievable. Like literally, I timed it. Every 5 minutes is an ad. I'm like, and it's long. It's like another 2 minutes of ads, and I'm like, yo, like what the fuck?
Yeah. We're getting like a minute and a half worth of ads, and like fucking 22 minutes of fucking show.
If they put it at the beginning of the show, I would. I have more fun with that when I watch movies on Hulu, because even back in the day, they used to put ads in the movies, and now they don't.
Yeah.
MODOK. Definitely check it out.
Yeah, definitely check out MODOK. And then the other thing that we're gonna be reviewing and spoiling the fuck out of is a fucking dope ass movie that was done by Guy Ritchie. Guy Ritchie, of course, that we know that's done a bunch of fucking movies recently. He did the Gentleman, which is another great fucking movie.
He did a bunch of shit that I had no idea. Like he did Aladdin. Yeah. He did Sherlock Holmes.
Mm-hmm.
I knew about the crime shit. I didn't know he did all that shit. I was like, well, really? I was like, I'll go back and watch. I'll check out Aladdin now just because he did it. Like I had no idea he did it.
Yeah, he did the live action Aladdin shit, right?
Yeah, Guy Ritchie's the guy who did Lock, Stock, and Two Smoking Barrels and Snatch, which are two really good fucking movies Snatch, from England. Yeah, it's one of the movies that I watch all the time. Every now and then I'll put it on. Same thing with Lock, Stock, and Barrel because they're both on streaming services.
Yep.
He basically redefined gangster movies in the 90s. Like he Lock, Stock, and Two Smoking Barrels is an amazing fucking movie.
Absolutely.
And Snatch too. I think Snatch is better. But like his movies were really good. And then he got married to Madonna, and he started like losing his mind, I guess, and made some really shitty movies. And then he got divorced and he came back on track. So good for him. Like I'm a huge Guy Ritchie fan, but some of the movies that he's done lately haven't been that good. Like I know King Arthur wasn't. I heard King Arthur was pretty bad.
I forgot that he did that movie.
Something else was really bad, and it's like the crime movie he did when he was dating, when he was married to Madonna is horrible. It's really stupid. Ludacris is in it. Some other people are in it.
You said it there. That's it.
I don't know. I give Ludacris some stuff because he was really good at rock and roll. So like, and I like him. And he's one of the few things I like about Fast and Furious. Yeah, and his music, some of the stuff that I heard like is way better than I thought. So I don't really like hate on him. But,
I just talk shit. Like I enjoy his music.
Okay.
It's like I'm just talking shit.
Okay. But yeah, man. So like Guy Ritchie last year with Gentleman, which came out right before the pandemic hit, was a return to form. It had Matthew McConaughey, the dude from Sons of Anarchy. I forget his name because I never watched that show, and a couple of other people, and it's really fucking good. Like it's. Yeah. I was shocked at how good it was. I remember I saw it when I was working at the hotel, and I was like, "Yo, this is really good." And I told you to watch it. It's on Showtime, I think, and one other streaming service. The Gentleman and Matthew McConaughey, yeah, he's in it, and it's a really good movie. And then Wrath of Man, we heard about it because the trailer came out like 2 months ago, and it looked cool, but I didn't think it was gonna be this good. Like it good. Yeah, it came out in the theater, I think 2 weeks ago. Yeah, or May. It was one
of the recent releases.
Yeah, it was this month, and it went on to the streaming services like Movies at Home for Amazon, Google, iOS, and whatever. And I checked it out. Like, let's be real. If this shit is on fucking Google Plus, people know about it. I saw it on Kodi, but you can find it on any other of the streaming platforms.
You can find if you want it, you will find it.
Yeah, either legit or not. But I saw this movie, and just like the first 30 minutes, I was blown the fuck away. And I was like, yo, you gotta see this. It's really fucking good.
Yep.
You go.
Yeah, it's fucking great. Like as far as going into story, you can't really go into much story without giving up the entire fucking thing.
That's why I was like, you try, because I can't. I'll spoil the shit out of
it.
We're spoiling it. Actually, we're spoiling it. Yeah. So basically, Jason Statham is in it. It's his movie, and at the start of the movie, you just see like this armored truck with millions of dollars gets attacked. A crew takes him out with military style precision and weapons. That shotgun that he has I have it in Call of Duty. It's my main shotgun. The one with the circle, the drum, the A12. That shit is fucking lethal in real life and in the fucking games. So those are military weapons, right? So that kind of like, I was like, yo, this is cool. Like, I was like, all right, cool. So they start going. There's a really fucked up, the armored truck robbery is really fucked up. So everybody, like everyone who's there gets killed. Like they kill 2 people and an innocent, and then goes to like the next scene, and you see Jason Statham join that company that the armored truck company, whatever, Frederico, whatever. And basically he goes into that company, and he kind of like works his way into the company as part of a revenge plot, because something happened to his kid during the beginning of the robbery that we didn't know about. And the way the story unfolds is fucking crazy. It's a lot of time jumping, but it works, and it's done so fucking well.
It's done really fucking well.
It reminded me of Traffic. It reminded me of Heat. It was really fucking good. And like Statham too. Like last thing I saw Statham in was, what was it? Is it 9?
Yep.
No. What was it? Hobbs and Shaw. Like that was the last thing I saw him in.
Yeah.
And like almost everything he's done lately has been either like for jokes or like some other kind of goofy shit. Like it's not. He's had a weird career path lately. Like he's really good at I Spy, and then some other shit that he did that sucked. So it's like, here and there. But I'm a huge fan of his since Lock, Stock, and Two Smoking Barrels. And like he's on a fucking mission. Like he gets hired, he starts fucking. They get robbed. Basically, on like I think one of his first runs as
his
a
first
driver.
run.
Yeah,
his first run
as his first run on the truck. There's a robbery, and he kills everyone by himself.
Yeah. Because everybody else with him is too chicken shit to do it.
Yeah, and there's something else going on too that we don't know until later in the movie.
Right.
But like, yeah, like, yo, he just fucking pops up and just like starts taking them out, and it's like, what the fuck? And we have the same reaction as everyone in the movie. We're like, what? Where did this come from, dude?
Yeah, like, especially since like as before we even get to that, like we saw that they have to do, you know, arms training and all this stuff, and he's like, oh yeah, I'm barely gonna pass this because I'm only gonna be. He's like, we could only the only way to get into it is to have at least 70% of, you know, of the grade that you get in this thing. So one of the things that he had was, you know, shooting. It was a shooting thing or whatever. And he was like, okay, yeah, I'm shooting and I'm hitting the target, but I'm not hitting on target.
And shooting one-handed is hard.
Yeah.
Just from experience, that shit is hard. Like, it's really hard to shoot one-handed.
Yeah. And he shoots it and he hits like sixes and shit. And he hits everywhere but like in the middle of the target.
Wait, let me go back. It's really hard to shoot with one hand. Like if you're aiming, if you're a fucking idiot on the street bucking, whatever. But if you're aiming for your target and looking at your shots, it's really hard to do one-handed. Trust me, I tried.
But yeah, dude, like he's doing this shit in before he actually goes out on the street to actually you know, do whatever he's supposed to be doing.
Like he does just enough to pass by, literally just enough.
Right,
to pass by.
Literally just enough, because he was like, yo, like you need a 70 to pass, and you got a 70, so you barely made it, but you're in. And next thing happens, you see a fucking robbery on his truck, and he's like, okay, I'm gonna handle this shit, and he's like, yo, like you guys are being little pussies.
Calm as fuck too. Like I love that. He's just like stone
nonchalant, motherfucker. Just goes out and he just starts murking everybody, like headshots galore, dude.
He does 2 headshots into a truck.
Yeah,
like that was nuts, dude. I was like, yo, when Post Malone, like he shot 3 guys in that car.
Yeah,
and almost got post. And I was like, whoa, like that's hard, man. Like,
yeah.
It's hard. The movie's hardcore. Like you can see they fucking did like real training for this movie. Like everybody, like especially when you see like the bad guys are military. Like it's fucking really well done, dude.
Yeah,
I really liked everything about this movie.
Yeah, it's a fantastic cast too.
Yeah.
Like there's so many good actors in this, other than, you know, the one person that you don't enjoy this. But he actually did
this so wrong because you never say the people's names. You always do this so wrong because you never say their fucking names.
I know.
But let's start with the easy ones. Statham is great in this. It's a return to him of doing like really, really good shit. We see some people I haven't seen in a long time. This dude, Josh Hartnett is in it, and like Josh Hartnett is one of those actors like totally fucking forgot. Holt McCallany, which is he plays Bullet. He's the guy who was in Mindhunters recently, but he's been in a ton of shit. And I'm really glad he's getting like good roles because he's been acting for a really long time. The bad guy crew is led by Jeffrey Donovan, who you've seen in a bunch of stuff, and Scott Eastwood is in it too, which I didn't catch that it was him until after I saw it. Like he's really good in this.
Yeah.
Laz Alonso, who plays Mother's Milk on The Boys, is in it. The dude that played Mikey in Army of the Dead, the influencer.
Yep.
He's in it. There's a bunch of people, man. Like it's a really good movie. And yeah, the cast is phenomenal. They all fucking do their roles to their best. And it's an interesting movie. And it's like every time you like think you're close to figuring out what's going on, it just completely flips. I know we're supposed to be doing a spoiler review, but we're not gonna spoil the big reveal.
We're not gonna spoil too much.
Yeah,
because you want that big reveal.
Because yo, motherfucker, y'all need to see this movie. All right, I think it's one of the best movies of the year, if not the best movie of the year.
So far.
I'm calling it Heat 2021 now because to me, Heat is the best American crime movie after The Godfathers. Like The Godfathers is a mob movie, Heat is a crime movie, and now you have Wrath of Man, which is a crime movie, and it's just fucking great from top to bottom. I have one problem with the movie. I have 2 problems with the movies with 2 scenes. There's a robbery scene where Statham kind of like shows who he is, and like it's it just didn't make sense in the story because you're like, okay, who's not robbing an armored truck in California?
Right.
And then at the end, when he has to survive with this fucking movie. But the way Statham survives at the end, I was like, yeah, he couldn't do what he just did. But it's dope because it's part of the story, and you've been following these characters for 2 hours, and at the end, like when everything comes together and like the big heist happens at the end, you're like, what the fuck? And when people start cashing it, you're like, whoa, fuck. Like it was like it's an edge of your seat movie. Like, yeah, it's edge of your seat from start to finish. There's story, but there's a lot of action, and it's really probably I think it's probably Statham's best movie, and it's definitely Guy Ritchie's best movie for now, like after Snatch.
Sure.
It's I was truly fucking blown away.
Mm-hmm.
I cannot recommend this movie enough. Like it takes a lot for a movie to fucking surprise me and shock me, and this movie did, because I didn't see anything coming at all. Like every time they had a twist, I was like, oh shit.
Yep.
Oh shit. Oh,
yeah.
It was crazy. I was like, yo, I was screaming when I watched it. Yeah, and it hit on demand this week, and I was like, yo, I gotta check this shit out. And yeah, I saw it Wednesday, I think, and I was like, wow, this is fucking really good. Actually, gonna probably put it on in the background when I'm doing my workout later. Yeah, dude, it's like it's one of the best movies of 2020, I guess 2020s now. Last 2 years, it's really fucking good.
The roaring 20s.
Yeah, like I didn't think. I mean, Gentleman's really good, but it's funny. Like Gentleman's a lot like Snatch and Lock, Stock. Like there's the serious crime stuff, but at the same time, there's like the funny shit going on because the both movies are fucking hilarious. Like Brad Pitt in Snatch is hilarious, and the idiots in Lock, Stock are fucking funny. But this movie's just straight hardcore crime. No jokes, no nothing. Just fucking pedal to the metal. Go, go, go. It's like the complete opposite of Army of Darkness last week. Like it's just everything in this story, like the way they reveal the layers of what's going on makes sense, and they work. And I was like, this is really good. Whoever wrote this, I tip my cap to them. The movie's based, actually, the guys that wrote it, it was written by Guy Ritchie and the French guy who wrote the original one. I think it's called Cash Truck or something like that.
Yeah.
I want to check it out. I'm gonna try to hunt it down and check it out.
It is like loosely based on a book.
Yeah. So and they made a French movie. So I'm gonna try to track it down because it's a really cool story, and the way it's done, it was really, like, I've said it like 50 times already, but yeah, it was awesome. It was good. One of my favorite movies now. Even with fucking Post Malone in it, like.
Yeah. And he honestly, he was actually pretty good in that one, the 2 minutes that he was in it.
Yeah, he won me over too. Yeah. I was like, it's just fucking, like, actually, that's something I want to say before when you brought it up with Pete Davidson. I'm going to talk about tattoos really quick. The face tattoo thing is just really not a good trend. And it's fucked up that people are doing it. And it's fucked up that people are getting it. It's not only that, like, it looks trashy. It looks bad. I don't give a fuck who you are. Like, that shit fucks your face up. And it's just not a good thing to do, man. Like it's still not fucking acceptable. And people keep fucking doing it. And I'm old school tattoo, man. I know what I'm talking about, all right? Like it's back in the day, the only people that had those tattoos were in jail. And like now you see fucking 18-year-olds getting them. And mind you, their bodies don't stop changing until they're 25. And no one should be walking around with fucking face tattoo unless they've been locked up. That's just me. Like I feel strongly about it, and I know some of the better tattooists have their faces done, and that's different because they're part of the tattoo culture. But if you're not,
that's their job. That they don't have to worry about answering to anybody else.
Exactly. Like they can get all tattooed as much as they fucking want to, but you cannot. All right. And Pete Davidson's a fucking bitch. He's such a poser. He's getting his fucking arms lasered off because he's getting fucking work, and he hates sitting in a fucking chair. I don't like Pete Davidson for a lot of reasons. That dude is one of the luckiest people on the fucking planet. And if you want to, I'll explain it to you personally on DMs, because I can't say it on fucking the air because it's got 9/11 connections. And I'm just like, because I dated, and I know a lot of people who had family that died at 9/11. And I'm telling you, like, it's not the way they make it seem. And if you want to talk to me about it, hit me up after you hear the episode. I'll explain it to you. I am not going to do it on the air. But yeah, I just don't like Pete Davidson. I think he's a fucking idiot. And when you start getting tattoos, he's like a fucking tattoo poser. So fuck him. Like, I'll never watch anything of his. Like, I can't stand that motherfucker. But like, yeah, I found out this like last week that he did an interview and he's like, oh, you know,
he's getting them all done.
He's getting them all lasered off. And I'm like, you motherfucker, man. Like, that's what's wrong with tattooing now. If you were gonna fucking do that, you should never gotten fucking tattooed in the first place.
It's permanent. That's the point of it.
Yeah, I'm like, yo, fuck this motherfucker. Like, not only are you talentless to me, like you're a fucking bitch for doing this shit. Like, and laser hurts even more. And I'm like, I'm just like, yo, like a lot of things that are wrong in this world are you could just point to Pete Davidson and fucking Post Malone, right? But back to the movie. The guy fucking like impressed me. Like you said, like the minute that he's in the movie, I was like, all right. That wasn't painful. It's definitely better than his music. So let's see what happens. But again, he can only do certain roles because he tattooed his face like a fucking idiot.
Yeah.
You know? Like, there's a reason why everything that he's in.
Unless they're going to paint over it, you know.
Like, seriously, like, think about it. Everything that he's done, he's a crook. In the one on Netflix, he's a crook. In this, he's a crook. So, like, that's what you did, dude. That's, you know, at least suck it up. I give it to him because at least he fucking, like, he doesn't hide any of that shit. Not like Pete fucking Davidson. God, I hate that fucking guy so much.
Yeah.
But I was really ranty this week. I was like,
it's all good, dude. It's all good. We have our days, you know.
But yeah, like I'm not gonna say I'm a fucking follow this dude's career, but I was like, you know, pleasantly surprised that post in this. He was actually really good. Yeah, man. Like I said, there's only 2 scenes and 2 things in the movie that I had a problem with, but everything else, I was like, oh my god, this is awesome. It's hardcore too. Like, if you're gonna watch this movie, the violence in it is fucking crazy. Like, for real, like it's
violence. Yep.
Yeah, it's that was another thing that like I didn't realize I hadn't seen in a while, because I've been watching like a lot of horror and a lot of sci-fi stuff, and like that kind of violence is like over the top for a reason. Like, there's a difference between watching the violence in this and a crime movie where it's realistic, as opposed to watching it in Army of the Dead where it's supposed to be all fucking stupid and zombies. When you see what happens to people in this movie, you're like, holy shit. And everybody does bad shit in this movie too. Like, no one's innocent, which is another thing.
There's no repercussions to anybody here,
and there's no good guys. So it's like, holy fuck, yo. And like, yeah, like I said earlier, like once they start peeling off the layers and you start seeing shit and figuring stuff out, like the movie does a really good job of that too. Like, once you start figuring shit out with the way the movie shows you, it clicks and it makes sense, and you're like, what the fuck? That's crazy. It's really good, man. It's one of the best fucking crime movies I've ever seen. And like I said, probably the best one of the year. When I was a kid, I grew up watching Serpico and The Godfather on fucking Channel 5 and Channel 11. I grew up with those movies. I'm telling you, this is one of the better fucking crime movies ever done. And like I said, it's my favorite movie of the year so far.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. It was fucking fantastic. Like, I fucking loved it. Like, I cannot wait to watch it again and again and again, because it's really fucking good. It's definitely worth a watch. It is technically you can technically call it like a modern day fucking classic, because it's fucking good. Instant classic.
It's even like the action scenes, like they're not like kung fu.
Yeah, and they're like not realistic, and they aren't cheesy. Like, they aren't cheesy.
Yeah, they're not like jumping and throwing guns in the air. Like, this is real like marksmanship. Like the way they did it, it's you could tell they got trained to do this shit, man. Like, because a lot of it, like, it's not like a gunfight in the Fast and Furious movies where it's like, you know, 50 fucking people shooting at everything and no one gets hit. This is hardcore. People die hard in front of you, and I was like, oh shit, like. I was just like really, really like, wow. Like it kind of reminded me too about like how like you get desensitized to stuff when you watch it in a certain way. And I saw it in this, and I was like, I was like, yeah, bullets hurt, man. I was like, yeah, it's fucking crazy, yeah.
It's you can't take it lightly.
Yeah.
No, it's fucking.
And the bad guys are so bad too. Like the crew that he's after, like. They're one of the better villains in movies in a while. Like, that was another thing. Like, like you want them to die. Like, they're fucked up. Like, it's man. It's
like everybody in this movie are like complete dicks. Like, there's no justifying anything to anybody throughout this entire fucking movie,
which is really realistic.
Yeah, like they are all assholes. Like even fucking Jason Statham's character, he's a complete. Like, straight-faced serial, like, fuck you, I'm gonna kill you no matter what the fuck it is.
And then you're like, wow, but he's justified. Like once you figure out what happened, you're like,
Right.
you know what? He's got a reason to be looking like that.
Yeah. But even before then, you're just like, okay, was he really like this before all this shit happened? Which is kind of what I brought up to you as well. It's like, yo, like I really want to see a prequel to this.
Yeah. How he worked his way up to being who he is. The scene in the pool hall was really like awesome. Like the scene in the pool hall where he just like intimidates the guy.
Yeah,
Like that's the way we used to roll at a certain point. Like I was like, all right, cool, this is awesome. Like I was like, all right, you don't even have to fucking like show that you're a badass. You just fucking give somebody the Bronx stare or like just fucking like your presence, and they know not to fuck with you. So yeah, like it's a really well done movie, man. Like I keep repeating myself because it's so good. Watch this fucking movie, all right? Watch it. Trust me. Watch it.
Yes. Trust us. It's.
I mean, it's if you're gonna pay for it, if it's $10 or $20, I'm telling you, it's worth it.
It's worth it. $20. It's definitely fucking worth it.
It's one of those movies that I would have gone like gone and seen in theater if we were living in normal times. Like it's really good because when I saw the trailer, like I said, I'm a huge Guy Ritchie fan. When I saw the trailer, I was really impressed, and I was like, all right, this is cool. It's a return to form again after Gentleman. And yeah, man, I hope he's back for real, dude. Because like Gentleman and this are like a great double feature.
Yep,
like really good. Like it's just man. Guy Ritchie's awesome, and I am so glad he's back to doing what he used to do, what he does best.
Yes, sir. Yeah, so that pretty much wraps it up for this week. We went long this week, but it's all good.
I mean, it's cool. We're just like, you don't want to hear spoilers, like just stop at the first hour. Like, I know it's long, but it's like, it's a good way to do it.
Yeah, it's the best way to do it, especially if we really want to know what the fuck is going on. So make sure you go to InnerCityGeeks.net. We got a whole bunch of shit over there. We got this show, we got It's Poppin', we got Bryce and Jay Presents, we got Comics with a Water Manga Time, Anime World, Turntable, First Watch, the ICGPW Slamcast, Good Games, so much fucking shit over there. Go check all that shit out. And then you can listen to the show on SoundCloud, on Stitcher Radio, on Google Podcast, and on motherfucking Spotify, because we love Spotify. Spotify is the bestest thing ever. So check us out over there. You can find us on the Facey Space, so faceyspace.com/InnerCityGeeks, on Twitter at InnerCityGeeks, on Instagram at InnerCityGeeks. Where can we find you, sir?
Really quick before I do that, I want to give a shout out to somebody that helped us out with the episode this week.
Yes.
She brought up I just blanked on it. She brought up gunpowder milkshake, and she's a really cool person to follow on Twitter, so give her a follow. She's her name is forgot her. I don't really know her real name, but her Twitter handle is at Sleeping Koala 45, one word. She is Scream Queen Axolotl, I think. There's like the name she's going by on there now, but she's really cool. She's a really cool person. She's a writer for a couple of sites, and she's somebody who knows her horror stuff, and she's actually a really good Twitter friend to have. So definitely give her a follow. Sleeping Koala 45, one word. You can find me. I'm not Sleeping Koala. I'm DarthBX Renee. You can find me on Twitter, Instagram at DarthBX, one word. I have a TikTok, but I don't use it. Man, that's it.
Nice.
DarthBX, one word.
Nice. And you guys can find me on the Instagram and the Twitters at Mr. Jackal, MisterJackal. And that's it. Thank you guys for listening. Thank you guys for sharing. Thank you guys for everything. You guys are awesome. And don't be a dick, but always remember that the geeks shall inherit the earth.